Okay, I've had breakfast. I've fueled up already. I even bought a new bottle of sunblock. My first stop now is the International UFO Museum, just down the street. On the map here, you can pin where you're located. So I put a pin right on Beloit. Green, of course, for Kawasaki. Well, that's it for the Alien Museum. I'm not going to spend too much time there. There's another store here I want to check out real quick. Hopefully it's open, but I got a long ride ahead of me, so I want to get out of this town soon. Let's do it. I can tell you're the little troublemaker, ain't you? That's it. That's the end of my day here in Roswell. Kind of interesting. It's not as heavily UFO as I thought it was going to be. You know, I thought every store was going to have some sort of UFO theme to it. It's just not like that. All right, time to go to Dallas. So, on my way to Dallas, I'll take part of my GPS about a little over 7 hours. Gotta go. Just a quick brake stop, bathroom, guzzle down some Gatorade, and now I'm back on the road. This is the town of Tatum, about an hour outside of Roswell. It was the first town I came up on. Another hard day today. I did not do a whole lot of recording today. It was another very windy day, 25 plus winds, and of course I was cutting right through it. So going down the road, 25 mile an hour wind, whoosh, whoosh. You know what I mean? So yeah, I didn't feel comfortable holding onto that camera, afraid it was going to go, you know what I mean? And the GoPro and the helmet, you know, and my helmet sitting there jiggling around. I get such a blast of air from my windshield, and then the air coming from the side, my helmet was just like vibrating the whole time. So anything that I've got on there, especially after the first break, it's pretty much going to be garbage. I'm almost certain of it. It was hot. I think we were up in the upper 90s, maybe even into the hundreds. And so yeah, I did a lot of stops today. Typically about every hour I stopped, if for nothing else than to just get off the bike, get something to drink. I was trying to get Gatorade instead of just plain water because you know, it replenishes a lot more of the stuff you lose through sweat. And I think it actually made a difference. I think I felt a little bit better for a little bit longer. But yeah, I mean, in that kind of heat with that kind of wind, I mean, it just sucks it right out of you. I stopped and had a nice lunch at one point, and I got back on the bike, and within probably 10-15 minutes I just felt exhausted. It was just unreal, just the heat and the wind, and but I wish I could have taken pictures because the landscape changed dramatically the closer I got to Dallas. When I was in New Mexico, you know, it was barren, arid, deserty type stuff. You know, I'm not talking, you know, sand dunes and stuff like that, but you know, plants that are only that tall are what grow there. And as you get closer and closer to Dallas, I think I get greener and greener and bigger, you know, and all of a sudden I'm seeing big huge oaks and maples and stuff like that, not just, you know, little shrubberies and evergreen type trees. So yeah, it changed quite a bit. I did try to take a few pictures early in the morning, but yeah, that wind just really did it in. But like I said, there's not a whole lot to take pictures of out there. You know, it's not like I was driving through the mountains and you know, every time you turn a corner, you know, it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. You know, that's kind of the way it was. You know, a week ago when I was going through Colorado and going through Utah, every time you take a turn, oh wow, take another turn, oh wow, take another turn, oh wow. But you know, it just wasn't like that. And one of the things that I found was amazing, I knew Dallas was a big city, you know, and it's got a lot of stuff. It's not just Dallas, you know, it's the you know, Fort Worth and I'm so tired I can't think of the damn name of that town I'm even in. I can't really remember. Anyway, you know, it's got so many cities. It's kind of like Chicago, you know, there's little cities within the city making it a bigger city, but you know, it's all Chicago, just like all the cities that are enveloped here are all Dallas. And anyway, I was sitting there, I was coming in, and you know, I noticed more and more houses, more and more stores, and the traffic was getting way heavier and stuff like that. And after, gosh, probably about, it felt like probably a good 20 minutes, 10, 15 minutes of, yeah, 10, 15 minutes of driving. I was like, man, I gotta be getting to the heart of the city. I looked down at my GPS. I was still 20 miles from my hotel. But you gotta be shitting me. I gotta drive through 20 miles of interstate city driving. So yeah, that was unbelievable. I've never had that. You know, the only time I've ever driven that amount of distance was down in Chicago, but that was going through the city itself, not on the freeway, you know. So it wasn't that bad. You know, a couple of idiots that think that, you know, 60 mile an hour speed limits means 80. Short of that. One thing I noticed too, when I was getting towards the, actually that was yesterday, when I was getting closer and closer to getting out of Arizona and into New Mexico, I was seeing a lot of cops. I mean, a lot of cops. I don't know why, but it's almost like they were all huddled right close to the New Mexico border, and if they didn't have people pulled over, they were sitting in those emergency turnarounds on the freeway. They were sitting in those. I mean, yeah, there were a lot of them. I did notice quite a number of cops once I got into Dallas. You know, once I got into the city area, I was seeing a lot of people pulled over, a lot of people, you know, cops just driving down the interstate. One cop, he was flying pretty good. Didn't have his lights on though. I don't know if he was chasing somebody or going on a call, but he was using no lights whatsoever, no sirens. But yeah, he was booking it down pretty good. He came down off the on-ramp basically right next to me, flew in front of me, cut across all the lanes into the faster left lane, and just took off. I was trying to think of anything. Being I was fighting the wind so bad today, I missed a lot. I seriously, when I stopped for my dinner just outside of the city, I stopped in Eastland. Was the city I stopped in. It wasn't until then that I realized that the topography has changed. You know, the trees had changed, hills had changed, because I was so concentrated on just keeping the bike on the road and keep from getting blown off that I didn't even notice things had changed. You know, it's amazing. You know, the heat is, like I said, it just rips all the energy out of you in just a few minutes. And yeah, it was amazing. And then when I got to the place I went to was a truck stop, so it was a gas station and a diner inside. And the food in the diner was actually really good. And when I went and got my gas, I was getting pretty hungry, so it's like, oh, screw it, I'll just eat right here. And I sat down and I ordered. I mean, I was hungry. I ordered a 2 filet, 2 fried fish fillets of catfish. Now they don't fry them whole; they cut them up in strips. I had, with that dinner, I got a choice of hush puppies, baked potatoes, French fries, you know, all that other stuff. Well, I wanted the hush puppies. She goes, okay, well, what else do you want? She goes, you get 2 sides with that too. I was like, really? And she goes, yeah, and here's the sides, da 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 da. And I got corn and fried okra. as my other two sides. And I have to admit, they did the fried okra right. It was not slimy at all. It was nice and crisp and very good. I mean, that had to be the best fried okra I've ever had. The hush puppies, they weren't balls. You know, normally you see a hush puppy, you know, it's a little ball about the size of a golf ball or something like that. And these were almost probably about the size of my pinky. You know, so same diameter and probably about the same length. So you're talking maybe a ½ inch wide and then maybe 2.5 inches long. Just like a little breadstick. And those had some jalapeno in it. And they were really good. I could have eaten a bucket of just those. The corn, I don't know how they cooked it. It was just standard canned corn, but they put something else in the water. It was sweet. It was really good. The water, you know, usually when you cook your corn and then they put it in a little bowl and there's a little bit of cooking water inside the bowl, that bowl is brown. So they put something else in that water other than just the corn. So yeah, that's pretty much my meal. My lunch stop was fantastic. Got to try something new. I had deep fried avocado. Never had that before. Sure, let's give it a shot. What they did was they halved an avocado, removed the pit, filled that little pit hole with cheese, wrapped the whole thing in a par cooked bacon. You know, it's cooked, but it's still flimsy. You know, and so they wrapped it up, put a couple of toothpicks in it just to hold the bacon on. Dipped it in a batter of some sort. It wasn't really light. It's not like a tempura batter. It might have been kind of like a beer batter, but I think it was a little bit thicker than a beer batter. And then they deep fried it. And not very long, enough to cook up the batter, maybe cook up the bacon just a little bit more, and melt the cheese. That's all they really need to do. So it's probably in there for, you know, just like probably a minute, if that. Pulled it out, served it on a lettuce leaf with a couple of grape tomatoes and little cups of dressing, like ranch dressing, so you can pour it on there if you want. That was really good. Even the sandwich I had, the club sandwich, it was fresh sliced deli meats that were warmed through, and it was, you know, it wasn't just Oscar Mayer deli meats. These were really, you know, high quality, and yeah, it showed. The cheese melted up very nicely. It was a really good meal. I was happy with it. With my dinner, though, I don't know. As soon as I sat down to order, alright, you know, I'm sitting there eating all the catfish and the hush puppies, the corn. The corn's the only thing I actually finished. I ate about half the okra, which was a shame because it was really good okra. I had like 2 hush puppy sticks left and probably half my fish, and I was stuffed. I just could not eat any more. I also had like 3 glasses of water. I've been trying real hard to stay hydrated, and, you know, and try to keep the fluids up, you know. My breakfast, though, I just went to a local Denny's, you know, America's Diner, and I got about halfway through, and I was feeling so nauseous. I mean, I went to the bathroom. I literally thought I was going to throw up. And I don't know what was causing it. I was sitting at the counter, and I was eating, and everything tasted fine. You know, nothing smelled bad, nothing tasted bad. I got about halfway through my breakfast, and it's like, I'm actually like getting hot, feverishly hot and sweaty. So I stopped eating, and I, took a couple of drinks of water to kind of help cool myself down. And I started feeling a little better, so I started eating the rest of that first half of my sandwich. And it started coming on again, immediately. So I basically, I was starting to feel full anyway, but I was like, okay, I guess I'm done eating, because, I literally thought I was going to vomit there in the restaurant. And once I stopped eating, my stomach settled down and I felt fine. I don't know. I have no answer for it. But I'm finally in Central Time. I crossed into Central Time as soon as I crossed into Texas. And so yeah, I can now actually, know. I've never changed the clock on my bike or on my computer or anything like that. So it's always, my bike and my computer have always been on Central Time. Oh, excuse me. But then my phone updates automatically, so once I cross into a time zone, it changes to that time. Oh. Alright, I had to quickly hurry up and take a shower. I felt just disgusting. All the sweating and all the sunscreen and everything like that. So anyway, I got my mileage total now. And I'm up to 4,233.3 miles for the entire trip, which means today alone I did 505.8 miles today. Yep. I'm getting there. Tomorrow it's going to the Cowboys Stadium. I'm a big fan. I've never been to a game, though. I've never been to the stadium. That was the whole reason for me to come this direction. The national parks and stuff that I've seen it have been great. But from Roswell, or even from the Petrified Forest, I could have gone a completely different route. I wanted to go to the Cowboys Stadium. I'm down this far, damn it. I might as well swing over and see them. So that's what I'm doing here in Dallas. It's just because I'm a fan of the Cowboys. I want to go to the stadium. I want to get a shot glass, maybe a t-shirt, something, something that says that I was there. Okay. Then after the Cowboys Stadium, which I think it's called AT&T Stadium. For me, it's always the Cowboys Stadium. I don't care who donated the most money to help build it. But after that, I'm heading up into Oklahoma. Never been to the state. So I'm going to go up there, kind of arc up and around, and go to Arkansas after that. And I think I'm staying in Hot Springs, Arkansas. So technically, I don't have a whole lot of miles tomorrow, because I want to take my time with the Cowboys Stadium. So I think tomorrow it's only going to be like a 300-mile day, something like that. Not bad. So yeah, kind of a light day, but to me it's a big day. See you in the morning.